because ahead of a crucial Congress meeting on Friday, where he could be named the Prime Ministerial candidate of the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi has hinted today for the first time that he is ready for the job. In an interview to the Dainik Bhaskar, Rahul has said that he will obey whatever the party decides, and there is no word like reluctance in his life.
Rahul Gandhi ready to be projected as the Prime Ministerial candidate. In his first one-on-one interview to Hindi daily Dainik Bhaskar, the Congress Vice President indicated he is not averse to being named the party's Prime Ministerial candidate. He said, "I'm a soldier of the Congress. Whatever instructions are given to me, I shall follow them. I'll do what the Congress asks me to do." He also said, "Power is poisoned doesn't mean I'm not ready to take responsibilities. There is no such word as reluctance in my life." Though sources say there are still some in the party who do not feel the Congress needs to break party tradition and project a Prime Ministerial candidate, many senior Congress leaders welcomed Rahul Gandhi's comments.
The congressmen want Rahul Gandhi to be the face of their campaign for 2014 election. They want Rahul Gandhi to be projected as the Prime Minister. We all would like him to be.
In the interview, Rahul Gandhi also clarified that his sister Priyanka will only be helping him in his election as a sister and friend and a staunch Congress worker. And commenting on his political rivals, Rahul Gandhi said, "The BJP has now become a party centered on one single individual." And speaking on the Aam Aadmi Party, he said, even though AAP's political approach is different from the Congress's, they implemented some of the things that the Congress wanted to. The BJP didn't take kindly to being referred to as a party that revolved around one individual.
Well, Rahul Gandhi making this comment is laughable. He is going to be declared as the PM's candidate by his party because of his family connection.
Surprisingly, in the interview, Rahul Gandhi was not asked either about the corruption charges against his party or Robert Vadra.
Rahul Gandhi has made it clear that he is ready to accept any responsibility that his party gives him. So is the Congress now ready to name him as their Prime Ministerial candidate? The momentum is certainly building, but the Congress wants to keep the suspense going. In New Delhi, Sandeep Phukan, NDTV.
So will naming Rahul Gandhi as their Prime Ministerial candidate be the game changer for the Congress party, or has it come too late? I'm going to take that to Ashok Malik as our commentator first. Ashok, we've been talking about this endlessly. Is this the right decision for the Congress at the wrong time?
See, two things. Rahul Gandhi is clearly the leader of the Congress party. Whether he's the best leader or the optimum leader or not is another matter. The fact is, the Congress as it is today, he is the natural leader. There's no question about that. And ideally, the leader of the party should also be the Prime Ministerial candidate, because the experiment with another person as the Prime Minister hasn't quite worked, as even people in the Congress have admitted. Would Rahul Gandhi be declared Prime Ministerial candidate on Jan 17th? Frankly, I'm still not certain, because the Congress faces a huge challenge in the coming election. It's battling 10 years of anti-incumbency. Does Rahul Gandhi want to take that on himself? Because I would imagine the Congress would want to sequester him and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi from the anti-incumbency against the Manmohan Singh government and live to fight another day, because they have a very challenging election where whatever happens, whoever wins, the Congress certainly looks like it's losing a lot of seats.
Abhishek Singhvi, taking that first comment from Ashok Malik to you, at a time when Arvind Kejriwal interestingly has tweeted or said somewhere in the last half an hour or so that he doesn't believe that the Congress is a factor in this general election at all. This is essentially a fight, he says, between the BJP and the AAP. Dr. Singhvi, in that case, is it a risk to name Rahul Gandhi?
See, the first part of his comment, all I can say is that history, philosophy and everything else teaches you to be humble, and power and arrogance comes before a fall. You are born yesterday, you are running a government for the first time in Delhi, that too as a minority with support from outside, and you say that it is not even a factor. I think that's just too much of arrogance if he has said it. I have not read it, but this is on the basis of what you say. Secondly, as far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned, I have 2 or 3 simple points to make. First of all, I don't think it's much of the concern of other parties. I mean, we are entitled to choose our own leader at least, and we won't be consulting either the BJP or the AAP party for it. Secondly, and more importantly, he has been the leader of the Congress, and there has been a clamour for him to take charge, not once but many times in the past. It's been in the open. It's been at the Jaipur AICC a few months or a year ago. It's been elsewhere.
1 year ago.
There's a huge section of the party which wants that. There's a huge section of the party which wants that. But that doesn't mean that, you press a button and on a television program I make an announcement that he's going to be the Prime Ministerial candidate. That's not the way the Congress, thank God, functions. And third and most important, Nidhi, and I'll conclude on this point, it's a very important point. You know, there is a person who gets up, who clearly has the swagger and the arrogance of a fact that he must become a Prime Minister, a person who fights within his own party for a long time before he is accepted there as a Prime Minister candidate, then he fights the NDA, then he tries to get acceptance in the country, he makes taunts, he makes speeches. That's a style, that's an idiom, that's perfectly acceptable in democracy. Rahul Gandhi is equally acceptable, he doesn't have that idiom. His style is humble. He has to be prodded 10 times before he says, yes, I will not shirk responsibility which is put on me,
a good thing.
but I'm not seeking power as a kind of a poison.
Come on,
of course it's a good thing.
Why is it a good
why
thing?
Should you,
because
why
he's been seen reluctant to take responsibility. How is that a good thing? It's hurt your party.
I'll tell you, reluctant, I'll tell you, it's your, the word reluctance is yours. I can be humble, I can say that I will do as a soldier whatever the party gives me, I can say that I will not taunt your other parties, and I will say that I was not going to be born to be Prime Minister and still be ready for it, which is what he has said clearly. But just because I don't have an arrogance or a swagger, or I don't have the belligerence and the aggression of taunting, criticizing and negativing something in each speech.
Okay, so he is
it doesn't
humble,
mean that idiom is the
not
only
reluctant.
valid idiom.
Okay,
it doesn't
humble,
mean
not
that's
reluctant.
a valid idiom.
Okay,
not at all.
Let me get the BJP's first response to what Arvind Kejriwal said.
Humility is some people. Humility is something which some people might learn from him.
Okay.
I'll
lot of
respond
things
firstly to
then on what Arvind
this
said.
whole aspect of humility that Dr. Singh has been harping about in respect of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. For God's sakes, I mean, here you have a gentleman who walks into a press conference, tears up an ordinance, calls it rubbish, at a time when the Prime Minister in fact is out of the country. Here is a person who comes forth and says politics is a state of mind, or it's in the back pocket. I mean, these are the kind of people we are talking about who are humble. I'm so sorry, but humility must be having some other meaning which I don't understand, where Dr. Singh is referring to Mr. Rahul Gandhi. One. Secondly, the aspect, as you rightly said, Nidhi, the whole question is really, one would have thought that he would have been tried to be saved in 2014, because I think the Congress itself has written off 2014. It is only aiming, if at all, for 2019. So the better thing might have been for them, if they so choose, and this is not an advice to them, it is their decision, of course, as Dr. Singh says, to go for the 2019 elections. But for anybody to say at this point, particularly a new party, to say there is only X or Y or Z party and the third party doesn't exist or the fourth party doesn't exist, I think these are also rather premature statements, and statements which should not be made by people who have just recently come into being, and that too only in one state.
But Abhishek Singhvi, isn't it also true that the Congress party is conflicted on this question on whether or not to project Rahul Gandhi on Friday? That there is a large section of the party which believes that it may not be wise to put the burden of anti-incumbency on him, and it's better to not announce his name at all.
2 points, Nidhi. Certainly, these are press speculations. There is absolutely no question, except for 2 or 3 or 4 people in a very special group having discussions, which we are not privy to. Press is entitled to speculation. There is no such thing as an announcement, and no such thing as a conflict, and no such thing as a divergence. These you will know only at the ICC session, if at all. The second point is important, Nidhi. I detect exactly, I remember in 2004 when Jayapal Reddy and I used to go to channels, I detect exactly the same arrogance in my BJP friend's tone. Exactly the same India shining, ostrich in the sand attitude. Exactly the same invincibility spirit.
Is it the
and
aspect
exactly
of the press
what applies
conference
to
you're talking
Mr.
about, Dr.
Kejriwal, exactly which applies, exactly which applies to Mr. Kejriwal's statement.
A leader of a party who goes and tears up an ordinance made by the government of India, made by the parliament.
Be so sure,
that is what we talk about, humility.
Don't be so sure of the chickens.
No, the question is not of chickens. We are only talking about Mr. Rahul Gandhi's humility.
Because they will come home to roost.
No, the question is of humility of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, not
has
sermonizing
I'll tell you,
on the party.
I'll tell you. Along with humility, Pinky
power is poison.
Also has
that is what Mr. Rahul Gandhi says. Where's the poison going to at this point?
He has another characteristic. 1 second. Now don't interrupt me. Along with humility, he has another characteristic which your candidate doesn't have, and that's candor. He doesn't obfuscate, he is not ambiguous, he doesn't speak in double speak or a forked tongue. He is candid, straightforward. That's his style. And he said straightforwardly that he thought the ordinance was rubbish. He doesn't equivocate like your leader. 1 minute, don't interrupt me. Like your leader does on a range of issues. Don't suit him. Snoopgate. which he doesn't speak about.
Let us not get into the situation.
So many other issues he doesn't speak about.
If we talk about Snoopgate and bring that in, Ashok Malik though.
So let's not talk about candor and humility.
Dr. Singh, what about the aspect
Modi
of
doesn't have it. Mr. Modi doesn't have it.
Interview itself, as a journalist, when you read the transcript, is a rather soft interview. Would you agree? Because there don't seem to be any hard questions on corruption, on dynasty, and even Robert Vadra for that matter. These are unfortunately issues that Mr. Gandhi has to answer.
But he has a right to choose his questions. He has a right to a soft interview. A lot of politicians do that. Not every politician throws himself out for interviews, and not just in the Congress party, to be fair. But he has not given too many interviews, to be fair to him. But the one thing does surprise me. Mr. Gandhi has been talking for several years of making the Congress more democratic, which is a very good thing. Now Mr. Singhvi tells us that the decision to nominate him or not nominate him on 17th January will be taken by 3 or 4 people, and in a small group they are not privy to that. But if the party is democratic, then shouldn't it be debated more openly?
No, but ultimately the decision is Sonia Gandhi's and Rahul Gandhi's.
But shouldn't it be a more open discussion? Because to be fair, the BJP had an open discussion about Modi. Some people like him, some people don't like him. There was screaming, shouting, but it was open.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Malik knows better than anybody else with his long experience that no party discusses the appointment of a president of the party or a leader of the Prime Minister's stature in public, on television cameras, or even at a plenary session. No party does it. Not the BJP, not the Congress. These are sensitive matters, but they are ultimately have to be acceptable and validated by the general body, which is the AICC. They are not discussed there, but you have a feel of the whole thing, and the AICC ultimately discusses it in the sense that it validates it in an open house. If it is done,
Is anybody going to believe that the AICC is actually going to decide, and the decision doesn't rest with Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi in this monarchical setup? Is there anybody else who's going to validate, discuss? Obviously, there is apprehension on your score.
But let me just give Ashok the last word.
Ashok, to release him
from
for the 2014
Rahul Gandhi's
elections.
comments in this interview, do you think it's clear that he's now ready for this? It's now up to the party to take a call.
I think he has to
on the pros and cons.
Accept that he is going to be the face of the Congress going into 2014. He can't duck that. Whether he'll be the formal prime ministerial candidate, frankly, I still have my doubts. Because it's a tough election. I can't see why they'd make him a sacrificial lamb.
All right. Well, interesting that. We will be watching that story very closely this Friday. Thank you to all of you for joining us this evening. The big question still is, will Rahul Gandhi be named as the Congress's prime ministerial candidate? That is something we will probably only know on Friday itself. Do join us again tomorrow night. We'll see you then. Goodbye.